All right, we're going to transition here really quick before we do. I forgot to mention, Stephen A., you know Kevin Hart's going to be on the show today.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
I hope he does a nice imitation of you. Zoom in.
He better be nice. I'm really not in the mood to be dealing with Kevin Hart. I'm really not in the mood. He better be nice. That's all I know. Kevin Hart better be nice.
So he's going to be here. Mina Kimes is going to be here in the flesh. But Dan, get ready. Jason, you'll start to learn. You know, Stephen A. is just very Stephen A. Guess who he was hanging out with yesterday?
We heard.
Take a guess. Take a guess. Yup, here we go. Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys head to Cleveland to take on Deshaun Watson, who missed most of last season due to injury in the Browns on Sunday. Despite some doubt about Dallas, Jerry Jones feels good about his team's chances, saying this to you, Stephen A., in an exclusive interview for the Stephen A. Smith Show.
Well, I feel a lot better than some of the critiques that maybe I'm getting more than they are, but I'm sensitive to them. Okay. But I'm frankly a little surprised. I'm surprised that it isn't more apparent to fans that we put an outstanding team together. I think the team is in better shape to roll than it was last year.
First of all, that beautiful shot. Great get by you, Stephen A., for the Stephen A. Smith Show. The full sit-down can be seen on YouTube, on the Stephen A. Smith Show channel, right? Correct?
That is correct.
Okay, just want to make sure. So
and heard on iHeartRadio.
And heard on iHeartRadio, obviously, okay?
You're the best, dude.
Both ways.
You are the best person on the planet.
If you're in the gym, going for a little walk, iHeartRadio. If you're at your desk, you want a little beautiful visual, we've got the YouTube. Okay, so Stephen A., you want to start on this one?
Sure.
Okay, so your boy Jerry seems to think this team is in better shape than last year. Interesting, because I think most people think the opposite. So with that being said, will the Cowboys be better, worse, or the same this season?
Well, they're going to be the same. They're going to win enough games to get to the playoffs and go home early. I mean, I told Jerry that right in front of him. He knows that. He knows where I stand. You know, I don't agree with him in his assertion. But when you're doing an interview, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? When you're a billionaire, you really, really don't have to talk to people, you know. You really don't need to. You understand? I don't know if people realize that, Dio and J Mac. I don't know if they realize that. But when you're a billionaire, you really, really don't have to talk to people. So the man sat down with me for 1 hour and 10 minutes, and damn it, I was the one that had to end the interview because I had to go catch a flight. So I mean, he would have stayed there talking to me, okay? I mean, well, that's my buddy. That's my buddy right there, okay? But the bottom line is this: do I agree with him? No. But I would say the same because I think they're going to be good enough to get to the playoffs. As I roamed around Dallas telling folks they're going to be good enough to get to the playoffs, and then you're going to go home. And that's how it's going to be because you ain't winning no damn Super Bowl championship. Now, they know where I stand, okay? I said it in the restaurant the night before. I said it in the streets while I was rolling through Dallas yesterday. I said it to Jerry Jones. I'll say it again. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I do think they'll be good enough to get to the postseason. He threw me aback a little bit when he said, fellas, that he thought that they were better because I didn't see that. I'm like, what have you done in the offseason? But the reason why I stood there and listened and really didn't push back because remember the specificity in regards to what he said. He said there were guys we had on the roster that were good enough to play that we didn't see last year. There's guys that we have now that you're going to see that you may not have seen last year. So in other words, you're not leaning on don't lean on what you've seen thus far. We've got a few surprises.
So you believed his reasoning?
No, his reason. I believe it.
And he worked you, Steve. He worked you. He worked you a little bit.
Hey, guys, seriously, think about this. Why would he lie to himself about that? What I'm saying to you is he thinks. I don't think that, but he thinks that. And so if you tell me, Dan, if you're the coach of the team, the GM, the owner, and you're telling me there's pieces that you haven't seen us throw out there at you yet, what can I say if I haven't seen it? All I could do is say I don't believe it. I got to see it to believe it. We'll see what happens, but there's really nothing that you can do other than that. I grilled him about Dak Prescott. You know about CeeDee Lamb, okay? You look at Micah Parsons, and he's going to still be there. You see what their defense is. You're switching from Quinn to Zimmer, a 3-4 back to a 4-3. All of a sudden, that's supposed to unleash Micah Parsons a little bit more. I got to see it. Y'all know football better than me. I'm sitting there. I'm interviewing you. I'm asking you the questions that people want to know. I'm hearing your answers, and it's for people like y'all to dissect. And as it pertains to how much truth he's telling. Because I'll be damned if I know. I can't comment about anything that I didn't see. I just know I don't believe that they're going to win the damn Super Bowl.
Dan, why are you calling BS on this?
Yeah, because this is the ultimate CYA out of Jerry Jones. The team is better. One would have to start with talent. So 75% of their secondary is gone from last year, and that secondary was remarkable. Deron Bland being part of that, he's got to get back and healthy. Hopefully he does. Two, the defensive coordinator is a head coach. You didn't fire him. He's gone. Three, the starting left tackle signed for $20 million to another team. Your starting center signed for $30 million to another team. Your starting tailback signed for $25 million to another team. So to sit there and say we're better would imply that we are more talented than they were last year. But I just rattled off 5 separate pieces of people or coaches that were a part of that football team last year that aren't not on the team because they weren't good enough, but they went and got paid more money somewhere else. So I think this is the ultimate CYA. I know the whole world thinks that I hate Dak Prescott. Yeah. It's the opposite. I've got great admiration for him as a human being. I've called him a good quarterback. But this is Jerry Jones setting it up and win more and win finally in the playoffs. But he's giving them and certainly Dak Prescott less to go do so.
Billionaires don't like to talk to people, and he's talking to Stephen A. Smith. So credit to you. That shows a lot about what you mean in this business. I'm looking at this, and I do believe that Jerry Cole Harley believes in what he is saying because he's looking at the fact that his quarterback, Dak Prescott, is still there amidst all the contract talks that have gone on. His wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, who was holding out of training camp, he now shows up. So now he believes, all right, we got our core guys there. But I look at this, a lot of what you just said, Dan, they lost so many different guys, even to the point of Kmart said an hour ago. And the running back position, they had a guy in Ezekiel Elliott that they let walk out the door that they said, you know what, we think we can improve. We have Tony Pollard behind, and we have guys instead. And a year later, they're bringing him back after he takes a year with the New England Patriots. Now, I know they're really big on Rico Dowdle, and they brought in Cook as well. But you're looking around this roster, and guys left and walked out the door. And if you're in love with the guys that you have that much, they haven't brought anyone in. We went all throughout free agency, and every single day, instead of talking about all the guys that were signing across the league, a lot of what was being spoken about is It's been really quiet in Dallas. They haven't brought in any free agents.
J-Mac, let me ask you this. Stephen A., Molly, so who's got a better roster? Let's just say talented roster.
Okay.
Dallas or Philadelphia?
Philadelphia.
Philly. Dallas or Detroit?
Detroit.
Dallas or San Francisco?
49ers.
San Francisco.
Dallas or Green Bay?
Green Bay.
Dallas or the Los Angeles Rams?
Dan?
The Rams.
Dan, if you watch the whole interview, I literally said to him, quote, this Philly with Barkley. You saw what Jordan Love did to you. Detroit ain't going nowhere. I went down the list. I said, what possible path to success can you find? He smiled at me and just gave it like you said.
Like you gonna see.
He's a salesman.
But Dan, I feel like I could take it one step further. Also, if we did the coaching test as well.
I brought that up too.
You know,
what
it's not even just the roster, but you talked about OC coaching, how much that matters.
Man, I brought up Bill Belichick. Dan Orlovsky, I brought up Bill Belichick, bro.
What'd he say?
Jason McCourty, I brought up your man, Bill Belichick.
What did he say about Bill Belichick?
And this man looked me in my face and was like this. I hear you. Bill Belichick is fantastic. He said, but Mike McCarthy is an outstanding coach. He's a Super Bowl champion. He won 12 games. He's left. And I'm going like this. But it's Bill Belichick. There's a 6-time champion out there. Jerry, come on now. I mean, this is what I'm just saying. At some point, listen, when you're doing an interview, you got to acquiesce to the people's answer. You believe what you believe. You're telling them what you believe. I looked him in his face and I said, listen, man, I don't think y'all going to win. I hear you, Stephen. We'll see. I'm just like, yo, what do you want? What do you want to say? At the end of the day, here's the deal. We're going to find out. I don't believe they're winning the NFC East. Yeah. As a result, I think they're going to be a wild card team. And I think the path to prosperity, once again, is going to be derailed for the 29th consecutive season, which I said.